Good morning, Kool-Aid's. Getting a little bit of a late start. I hit the snooze one too many times. I appreciate everybody being patient. But welcome and good morning. It is time to wake up and Barca live Barcelona news coming at you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the Undefeated channel. We've got a lot to discuss in today's episodes. We'll be doing a match preview for this upcoming weekend fixture against Sociedad. That match is going to be on Sunday. We'll take a look at potential lineups, Boosie suspended, and maybe some other changes coming along. We'll take a look at previous results. We'll take a look at all the news going into the weekend, including Lewandowski getting robbed on his way into training. Are you kidding me right now? Aubameyang updates, Memphis updates, whatever else comes up conversationally as we have a little bit of caffeine, start our day with our fellow Kool-Aid's having some good conversation. So if you're just finding us and you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that because we've got a long season ahead of us. We'll be doing Wake Up in Barca, like I said, 3 days a week. We're also here for all the live Barcelona matches. So subscribe, turn on notifications, come hang out with us. And before we go anywhere else, pause. Hit that like button, my friend. If you've been here since day one or you're just finding us, easiest way to show your support. Hit that thumbs up button, drop a like, get that algorithm going, and let's go ahead and kick things off the right way, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the Undefeated Mustache John. All right, hello and good morning to you all. Let's start off with just the crazy headline before we get into the match preview for Sociedad hosting Barcelona. Let's just real quick turn on my fan here, and then let's also talk about this news. Lewandowski robbed on his way into training. There were 3 thieves, this according to Barca Buzz, who's quoting Sport, says they ripped his watch from his wrist and hid it under a tree to pick it up later. Lewandowski started his car to chase them and ended up meeting with a small accident. The police caught the three thieves and recovered the watch. This is insane. I looked into this a little bit. Apparently, Lewandowski on his way into training saw a bunch of Kool-Aid's hanging out, waiting to greet him. He stops his car, he gets out, and then 3 people jump in his passenger seat and try to steal his cell phone. Someone apparently took the watch. It's conflicting reports whether they took it off of his wrist or if they took it out of the car. Either way, human beings, what are we doing here? What just... Bro, that's insane to me. It's absolutely insane. Just no respect for each other. I know we live in wild times where there is great disparity in wealth, right? You know, if I could have some empathy for a moment, I'm sure the people who stole the watch don't have the same kind of money that Lewandowski has. That's not an excuse, okay? It's just acknowledging that we live in a crazy world. Either way, you can't behave like that, friends. This is why we can't have nice things. This is exactly why we can't have nice things. Because of animals like this. Got to learn to behave yourselves, friends. Not cool. And I'm hoping that this doesn't taint Lewandowski's perception of Barcelona. Obviously, the people who did this, the thieves here, not Kool-Aid's. Obviously. Even if they claim to be, you can't. Nope. Revoked. No more. Disgusting behavior. Disgusting behavior. Let me get your reaction to that first, and then we've got a laundry list of news to catch up on before we get to the match preview. But let me just give you a little taste of that. If you look at the top there, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tabs before we even get to the match preview. So a lot to discuss, my friends. Let me first say my good mornings. Let me get your thoughts on this Lewandowski incident. If you're watching this on replay, let me know down in the comments. And one more time, hit that like button, my friends. I appreciate it. Let's see who we got in the chat with us today. Matinho, hello, hello. How we doing? Ryan Scott, Barca fan. Good morning to you, sir. We've got Chris E in the house. Good morning. Winston, hello. Ovi, good morning to you as well. Em, what's up, brother? Felipe's with us. We got a lot of the regulars here today. Again, good morning to you all. Harry, hello to you. Says, it's disgusting how they robbed Lewandowski. Hopefully justice can be served. Good morning, by the way, Uncle John. Thank you, sir, and good morning, Harry. It's good to see you. I agree. Disgusting behavior. You're not going to get anybody standing up promoting this behavior. Even a Madrista has to admit, terrible behavior, terrible experience for Lewandowski. Dr. Yui, good morning, sir, says, it's a disgrace what happened to Louis. Barca needs more security at its entrance. Not the first time this is happening. News to me. Have there been other incidents? Talk to me about it. I know there were some incidents with Ronald Koeman last year exiting the stadium. I feel like I'm missing one big one that comes to mind. You're probably right, though, but what incidents are you thinking of? Let me know. Matinho, fourth for 42 million. We'll get to that in just a second. Flash Mankind, good morning to you, sir. How's everybody else doing? If you haven't said good morning yet, please do so in the chat. Participate in the conversation. That's what we do here, folks. Yes, I'm going to be going over the news. Yes, I'm going to be ranting about things. Yes, it is mostly me dominating the conversation, but I want to hear from you all. I want to get your questions. I want to get your opinions, your thoughts, right or wrong. Throw them in the chat. Get the conversation going. Connect with your fellow culés. That's what we're doing here, folks. Let's go ahead and jump over, get into the next story, which is Aubameyang update. This coming from Fabrizio Romano, truly one of the only journalists that you need to follow to get the news. I have a few that I follow on Twitter just because they are aggregators, but Fabrizio Romano, straight from the source here. Pierre Aubameyang update says he's been told meeting with Chelsea on Thursday night was very positive. Personal terms won't be an issue. Chelsea and Auba's camp are on the same page about contract. It's now time for talks with Barca. The 30 million price tag considered too high. Now here's the thing. Chelsea have been unloading players. Timo Werner, Sterling, Rudiger left, Christensen left. It was looking like Azpilicueta was also coming to Barcelona for a second. Didn't happen. I digress. So it's interesting to see, got coffee grounds all over this. It's interesting to see now Chelsea turning to someone like an Aubameyang. They have a core of young players, Havertz, Mount, Pulisic. Well, I guess it's the exact same story as us. I was about to rag on them for bringing in an aging striker, but then look at us. So never mind on that. I guess it does make sense. They're after battling Barcelona on the transfer market all summer long, now they're saying, hey, now it's our turn. We scratch your back, you scratch ours. And this could influence the Marcus Alonso deal as well. If they don't want to pay that 30 million price tag, maybe Alonso gets involved in the deal. I could easily see that happening. Barcelona start out with that higher offer, 30 million for Aubameyang. They say, no, we'll give you 18. We say, make it 20 plus Alonso and you got yourself a deal. I know some culés will not be happy about that. 20 to 25 million plus Alonso feels right for Aubameyang. At the same time, I'm hesitant to give him up. I know Memphis to Juve has not happened yet. He's still a possibility to stick around, and if that happens, then Aubameyang would be the one to leave. And on Wednesday, I discussed how I'd rather take money for Auba and keep Memphis. But now I'm second guessing myself, folks. I just don't know. I feel like there's still a lot of goals left in those boots. So I'm just not sure. So what do we think, folks? What's your reaction to Fabrizio Romano's update on Aubameyang here? Would you take, say, 20 million? Say we don't get up to that 30. Would you take 20 million for Aubameyang? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. I turn and keep the conversation going with the Stash Squad here. Paul, how we doing, sir? Says, love your content, John. Thank you very much. Yeah. I know. People get on me for the pronunciation of plenty of words, all right? There's several in my vocabulary that I don't say right. It is what it is, because saying couleurs and then speaking the rest of my English sentences with English accent, it doesn't sound right. It's like, I'm trying to think. In America, you have to Americanize words when you're speaking. Otherwise, you sound like a dick. So I'm trying to think of a good example. Pretty much any French word, if you say it the way you're supposed to say it, you sound like an asshole. Trying to think of a good example. I'm sure someone in the chat will have one for me, but I'm aware. I know it's couleurs. I get it. But if I say it like that and then go back to speak, it just sounds so awkward. So here in America, the common pronunciation is coulés. So it's not Kool-Aids. All right? Coulés. I get it. I hear ya. What else? The Ballon d'Or. Gonna mispronounce that one. All right. It happens. Players' names. Gonna mispronounce them. It happens, folks. All right. Words, like I said, once the words come over the American border, they get Americanized. And I am living in the heartland of America in Ohio here. So, with all respect to the language of origin, culés it is on this channel. Love ya. Anyway. Oh, my goodness. Anyway. Ooh, there was... should I bring that up? I think we should. I got to open up another tab for it because someone just mentioned a transfer rumor that I overlooked. I wasn't going to bring up, but let's go over here and see if it pops up. That's not how you spell it. There we go. Share the screen. Hakimi to Barcelona. Apparently reports are saying, see if we can get a good resource here, because I was seeing several tweets. Oh, that's not it. I was seeing several tweets of Barcelona taking a look at Hakimi. Now, all the other right back options that we've looked at, I've kind of poo-pooed. But this one could be interesting, folks. I think it's just rumors. I can't imagine we're going to shell out big cash for a right back when we've been hesitating on someone like a Bernardo Silva. It's possible. Let me check Hakimi contract, PSG. Let's see. Does anybody know when his contract is up? That's what I would like to know. No, PSG record deal, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, this is what we want. 22-year-old right back who also Spanish. Oh, I did not realize he was Spanish nationality. Signed a 5-year contract and is tied to the club until June 2026. Folks, this isn't happening. This is not going to happen. Not going to happen, my friends. I'm calling that right now. Hakimi to Barcelona, not this year. Not this year. If he's under contract with PSG until 2026, he is a hot commodity, still young, up and coming. Nah, that's not happening, folks. That will not be happening. But you know what might be happening? This Foyth deal. We work something out. I'm not a huge fan of it. I want to keep Dest, but we'll see. Another quote from Fabrizio Romano here says, Barcelona are not discussing with Man United over Dalot, while Munir deal is still quiet. Juan Foyth favorite option, but negotiations at early stages with Villarreal. It will take some time. Dest still wants to say, but Barca hopeful PL clubs can attract him. Listen, as an American, as I've stated before, and a fan of the U.S. national team, I would like to see Serginho Dest go somewhere where he's going to play. As a Barcelona fan, as a culés, I would love for Dest to stay. It means so much to me to have an American at the club. It's something that I never thought would happen, honestly. In the almost 20 years of me supporting this club now, I never thought we would have an American player. There are some other Americans that maybe could join our club if Dest leaves. I'll talk about that in a second. But for me, I'm a little bit torn, right? So I'm not sure. The perfect solution is Dest stays at Barcelona and plays. That's option number one. Option number two is that he's loaned out to a Premier League club, Man United, Chelsea, or Bayern Munich. Although they signed Mazraoui, so they probably don't need him anymore. Anyway, top club, loaned out, and then come back. I would be okay with that. Third option, he gets sold to another big club, maybe Premier League. Maybe he goes to the United States of Leeds. I'm becoming a big Leeds fan this year with Jesse Marsh managing the club, Tyler Adams, Brendan Aronson. Oh, it's exciting times for Americans. Anyway, I digress again. This Foyth deal, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think the price tag is going to be too high. I think Barcelona, while it's not ideal, do have options because of the number of center backs we have and the ability to push Araujo out wide right. Now, that's not my number one pick. I would go Dest, at least have him on the bench so we have an option defensively. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. Ridiculous times, folks. So what do we think? Right back options. We keeping Dest. We going with Araujo. Are we splashing cash for Foyth? Let me know your thoughts, my friends. Let me know your thoughts. Let's see. A couple more things to run through. Oh, good timing. Speaking of Americans, if you all remember last summer, I was ranting and raving up and down about Barcelona signing Weston McKennie. I was the only one saying it, the only one, okay? You didn't hear it anywhere else, that Barcelona's perfect solution in the midfield is Weston McKennie. And now it might be too late. The Juve man is being targeted by Manchester United. He is a leader in the midfield. He is box to box. He's creative on the ball. He's strong defensively. He gives you that physical presence. He is elite, one of the best in Europe in getting his head on the end of the ball on set pieces. I'm telling you, Man United will get a deal with Weston McKennie. An absolute deal. And shame on Barca for not looking at Weston McKennie as a possible replacement in that pivot role for Boosie. All right, for months last summer, I was talking about Weston McKennie being a perfect fit for Barcelona. Should have happened. Anyway, looking like he's on his way to United. What might be a little bit more relevant for Barcelona fans, another U.S. player might be joining Yunus Musa to partner up at Valencia. Talks in progress for U.S. men's national team Timothy Weah. My goodness, could be at Valencia, like I said, with his fellow Patriot Yunus Musa playing under Gattuso alongside Nico. Boy, that's going to be a fun team. Not that I'm going to root for Valencia by any means, but if they got two Americans and Nico, I'll tune in. I'll tune in every once in a while on a Saturday or a Sunday. You know what I mean? I'll watch that club perform a little bit. No big deal. One more thing to run through, and then I want to get to our match preview, my friends. Let me turn to the chat, see what comments we got before I keep going. Matinho says, Pedro Porro has 45 million release clause. Harry says, I want Dest to stay, and I want Fourth to come in to compete with Dest. Fair. I don't think we're going to spend 42 million on somebody just to give Dest competition, though. Winston says, give Dest a chance. I'm with you there. Matinho and Harry going back and forth. Love to see the conversation, folks. That's what we do here on the channel. Like I said, good conversation with your fellow culés. A great time to connect. What we got? 1, 2. We'll skip this for now. One more headline, folks, before we get into a match preview for Sociedad versus Barcelona. Speaking of Man United potential transfers, again, we're going to Fabrizio Romano here, the most trusted resource in football. Manchester United are working to get Casemiro deal approved in the next hours. Medical expected within 48 hours. Once Real Madrid will approve the proposal. 4-year deal for Casemiro, option for further season also confirmed. 60 million plus 10 million add-ons bid on the table. It could happen, folks. We could see the end of Modric, Kroos, Casemiro sooner rather than later. The Brazilian center defensive mid might be on his way to the Premier League, joining the Red Devils, getting out of our hair. Man United, of course, as one of my stash mods, the often defeated Mustache Steve, knows, United are struggling greatly right now. So the fact they're looking at Weston McKennie, looking at Casemiro to bolster their midfield, makes a lot of sense. Also, pretty sure that rules them out for Frankie de Jong. So if it's not Man United, I know Chelsea were sniffing around. I know Bayern Munich were sniffing around. But if neither of those happens, it's most likely that Frankie de Jong's going to get a salary cut to stay at the club. Sad times. We've talked about it a lot. I don't need to get into it again. We're going to turn and do a match preview for Barcelona's upcoming fixture against Real Sociedad. But first, let me turn and remind you that we have a poll going on. I'm going to check the results here in just a minute, so get your votes in now. Who should start at center defensive mid with Busquets suspended? Remember, he got his second yellow card in last weekend's fixture, so he's not going to be available. Kessié, Frankie, Pjanic, Roberto. Those are your top 4 choices. If you think it should be somebody else, let me know in the chat. You have just a few seconds to get your vote in, and then we're going to go ahead and view those results. Obi says, what do you think will... Oh, what do I think? Will Elon Musk buy United? No, I don't. I can't. He's just trolling, getting attention, and it's working. It's working very well. But no, I don't see Elon Musk actually buy United. He's way too busy doing other stuff. There's no way he would want to run a football club. And if he did, he'd buy it and have somebody else run it. There's no way that he actually wants to run that club. He's got a billion projects going on. Anyway, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's close this poll. Let's get our results. End poll. And okay. Who should start at CDM with Boosie suspended? Boy, we got a split. 36% of you said Frankie de Jong. 31% of you said Frank Kessié. 31% of you said Pjanic. And 0% said Roberto. So it is a three-way tie just about. Frankie de Jong nudging out Kessié and Pjanic. But boy, oh boy, culés are split on this one. I thought we were going to have a clear favorite. I really did. I really thought we were going to have a clear favorite. For me, if it's not Frankie, it's a problem. If it's not Frankie's day to shine, it's a problem. I know Kessié coming in has experience playing defensive midfield for AC Milan, as well as his national team, Ivory Coast. But you can't tell me that Kessié coming in, having a few months experience with the club, Pjanic with his lack of pace, you can't tell me that those two are a better choice in the pivot role than Frankie de Jong. I have a hard time buying that. So for me, I'm going Frankie. That's the only spoiler I'll give to the starting 11 because we're going to talk about that as we dive into our match preview for Real Sociedad hosting Barcelona. Let's go ahead and dive into this one. We've got match coming up on... Okay, here we go. This match is coming up on Sunday, 4 o'clock, Sunday, August 21st. That's going to be Eastern Daylight Time, so convert that for your time zone so you can come hang out for the watch-along party. We will be live just a few minutes before kickoff, connecting with our culés, and then we'll be going over all the match details, so make sure you come and hang out with us. Anyway, Sunday, 4 o'clock. A few fun facts before we dive into lineups and predictions. Real Sociedad have not won any of their last 12 matches against Barcelona in La Liga. 2 draws, 10 losses. Their second longest ever winless streak against the Blaugrana in the top flight after the 17 between November of 1952 and October of 1960. Second fun fact, Barcelona are unbeaten in their last 6 visits to Real Sociedad in La Liga. 4 wins, 2 draws, winning the last 2. Only once had the Blaugrana had 3 or more consecutive away wins against them in the competition. There was 4 in September of 1955. Since 1955, Real Sociedad have only conceded 6 or more home goals in 2 La Liga matches, both of which came against Barcelona. 6-0 in October of 2000 and 6-1 in March of 21. I believe that was under Ronald Koeman. Real Sociedad have won 3 of their last 4 La Liga matches, only 1 loss, having failed to win any of their previous 4 before that. So they're on a 3-match win streak, but they lost 4 before that. 5th one, Barcelona have failed to win or score in their last 3 La Liga matches. 2 draws, 1 loss. We've never gone 4 without scoring in top flight history. So folks, as we look at this upcoming weekend, I want to take a look back to last year's results. We had a 4-2 victory at the beginning of the season in August, and then a 1-0 victory later in the season in the spring. And then we also played them in the Supercopa de España, which we beat them in penalties, a little bit tighter than what we needed to. So aside from that 4-2, pretty tight results against Sociedad. You combine that with the fact that we still got plenty of players that are gelling, finding their chemistry. It might not be such an easy walk for Barcelona. This could be a tough matchup for us. Started off with a draw, no Busquets. I'm still feeling optimistic though. Like that fun fact said, we haven't gone 3 matches without scoring a goal before. Won't be the first time this time. Not going to happen. So, Let's take a look at lineups for Sociedad versus Barcelona. First, a couple players that are unavailable. Jules Kounde, still not registered. Aubameyang deal, Memphis deal, Frankie de Jong wage cut. All of these things could lead to Kounde being registered, but as of right now, still unavailable, not registered. Busi is going to be suspended. He got his second yellow card against Rayo over the weekend. Got baited into that one. Anyway, different story. He's going to be unavailable, which means we're going to have at least one change in the starting 11. Let's take a look at my predicted starting 11 against Real Sociedad this Sunday. Starting in the back, of course, Ter Stegen gets the start. This is his year. Man of the match for me against Rayo. Big saves, kept us saved us a point, I should say. But the surprise in the back four for me is going to be Balde. Saw some reports early on, and I'm jumping on the train that Balde is starting to shine in training, starting to outgrow that Barca B role. So maybe he gets his first team number. Maybe we see him get some more regular starts, and it could begin this weekend against Sociedad. Balde on that left-hand side, I want to see what he can do for us. I want to see whether or not he is the heir to the throne at left back for Jordi Alba, because it's sink or swim time. If it's not this year, then it might not be ever. So you got to kick him out of the nest and see if the baby bird can fly eventually. You know what I'm saying? So Balde gets the start at left back. Araujo continues to start at right back, but I have Serginho Dest in the lineup this time. All right? He's in the 23-man roster. Hopefully, if things go Barcelona's way, at some point, 30 minutes left, 20 minutes left, Dest gets on the pitch, gets a little bit of playing time, shows everybody that he's still in the fight, that he's still got a chance to shine for the Blaugrana. That's what I'm hoping for. In the midfield, I already mentioned, it's got to be Frankie de Jong for me. I know Kessié is an option. I know Pjanic is an option. Pjanic, for me, doesn't do it defensively. I think we will have all sorts of trouble on the defensive transition, trying to stop the counterattacks if we have Pjanic at the defensive mid. Passing is incredible, okay? Passing is absolutely incredible, but for me, lacking on the defensive side. Kessié is closer to an appropriate replacement for me. To me, he's Frankie de Jong light. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit more defensive. Frankie's a little bit more offensive, but both very balanced, very sound, box-to-box midfielders. I just prefer Frankie. I think he's a little bit more creative. I think he's got a little bit more pace, and he deserves it. We've talked about Frankie. I don't need to go on a Frankie rant. I don't. I'll just leave it at, I think he deserves it. And while he's at this club, however long that may be, I think that defensive midfield role should be his when it's not Busi. So for me, midfield three, Pedri, Frankie, Gavi, lighten up the midfield, opening things up for the front three, which is going to include Ansu Fati. I think Ansu is ready for his first start. Might not go 90 minutes, but last weekend, Dembele on the left, Rafinha on the right, we weren't getting the results that we wanted. I think those two players perhaps are too similar to have on the two wings. You might need somebody that gives you a little something different, and that for me would be Ansu Fati. So Ansu on the left, Lewandowski centrally, Dembele on the right. I think it's going to be goals galore. I think we are going to come out ready for this one. In last weekend's match, we were a little bit nervy, a little bit anxious, a little bit tight, a little bit tense. So for this one, folks, coming out guns a-blazing, I think it's going to be a big one. I'm going 4-1 Barcelona. No, I'm not. Backtrack that, because I think we're going to get a clean sheet. I'm going 2-0. We'll go 2-0 Barcelona for my prediction. All right. I went from 4-1 to 2-0 because I think we're going to get a clean sheet. And we might not be ready just yet to explode offensively. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Barcelona. I'm going to say Lewandowski gets a goal. And I'm going to say Aubameyang gets a goal off the bench and then goes to Chelsea. How's that for a prediction? That's what I'm thinking. There we go. That's the proper screen. I'm thinking Lewandowski goal, Aubameyang goal, then he goes to Chelsea. 2-0 victory. Aubameyang rides off into the sunset. Memphis ends up staying. Barcelona, La Liga champions. Anyway, that's too many predictions. Real Sociedad, Barcelona. Barca going to win 2-0. Lock it in. This is where I'll turn to the chat. Let me get your thoughts. First on the lineup, and then get your predictions in as well. Let's see what folks are thinking. Harry says, Raf played better than Dembele on Saturday. Probably. I think it's arguable, but it's close. Matinho says, yeah, but still Dembele is better. One game means nothing. I'll say it doesn't mean nothing, but it doesn't mean everything either. Harry says, Kessié defensive mid, Pedri, and Frankie. Maybe. Let's see how that looks. See how I feel about that. If we go Frankie over there, Kessié in the midfield. I don't hate it. I don't know. I want to see Frankie in that pivot role, though. Am I the only one? Am I the only one that still wants to see Frankie in the pivot role? I might be. But this isn't bad. If we end up with this lineup, I'm okay with this. BJ says, I think Pedri, De Jong, Kessié is the most balanced midfield in Barca. Pedri is untouchable. Kessié is good box-to-box midfielder. And De Jong is close to replace Busquets. Love the thoughts, BJ. I'm with you on that. I could be sold on this. I won't be upset if we go with that midfield. Pedri, Kessié, De Jong. But I'm worried, very worried that we're going to see this. And if this is the case, if we see Kessié, Pedri, and Gavi, or if we see Pjanic, Kessié, and Gavi, or excuse me, Pjanic, say words, John, Pjanic, Pedri, and Gavi, that's going to be an issue for me. Any midfield three that doesn't include Frankie de Jong, to me, with Boosie suspended, means Frankie is out the door. I think no questions asked at that point. If Frankie de Jong doesn't start, I'm putting a bet down that he will not be wearing a Barcelona kit the rest of the season. Lock it in, folks. Lock it in. See what other thoughts we got going on here. Matinho says, Fati, Lua, Dembele, Pedri, Frankie, Kessié, Balde, Christensen, Araujo, Roberto, and Ter Stegen. I don't like Roberto at right back. Not a fan. Felipe says, I want to see Frankie in the pivot. Bring on Kessié later. I'm cool with that for sure. Flash says 3-0 to Barca. Love it. Ovi says 4-2 to Barcelona. Let's go. 2 for Lewandowski, 1 Dembele, 1 from Frankie. That'd be great. I would love to see a shootout, but at the same time, I do want Ter Stegen to get some clean sheets. I want him to get his confidence back. I want his reputation to come back to where it was as one of the top elite goalkeepers in the world. Because like I said, I think this is Ter Stegen's year. Fresh defense in front of him. It's time to shine. It is time to shine. Harry says, I agree. We need Frankie to start. Chris says, Pedri, Pjanic, and De Jong. I could go for that, actually. I would put Gavi over Pjanic and Kessié over Pjanic. If it was someone that's going to be bottom half of the table, maybe you'd see Pjanic, De Jong, Pedri. But Sociedad, they're going to be top 4. And not that they're going to compete for a title, but top 4 means we got to take them pretty seriously. I don't know about that. We'll see. Matinho says 5-0 to Barcelona, Lewandowski double, Dembele, Fati, and Christensen. Love it. Ryan Scott says maybe 3 at the back. Center back, Frankie, Ronald, Araujo, Eric, and Alba. We'll see, Ryan. We did talk about a potential 3-back lineup on Wednesday. We got a little bit silly with it, but there were some realistic possibilities in there for sure. Anyway, I digress, folks. Either way, we will be here live this Sunday. We'll be getting going just before kickoff. Again, we'll go over the official lineups. We'll reconfirm our predictions. And we'll talk about any other news that popped up between now and then. We'll do a nice live watch-along for Real Sociedad versus Barcelona. So come hang out with us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you know when we're live. We finish my cappuccino. Say words, John. It's an Americano. No cappuccino here. Americano. Anyway. Folks, that's going to just about do it. Before you go, hit that like button. I don't know what my like count is at right now. I don't have it pulled up. I think we got about 30 people watching right now, so I should have 30 likes, right? We could get that going. Helps out with the algorithm, get some new eyes on the channel. We are still very focused on building this community. High, lofty goal, 10,000 for this year. Low goal, 7,500. We got our work cut out for us, but we're going to do it by continuing to do what we've done over the last 3 years. We are starting our 4th season here on this channel. We've been through some wild ups and downs, so I'm glad that you are here with me for this ride. I'm glad that I have the Kounde community, the Stash Squad, to hang out with every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for live Barcelona news. I'm glad that you guys are here for all the Barcelona matches. I say it all the time, but I'm very fortunate. #blessed. I love you all very much. Very much. Support the badge. Support each other. That's what we do here. I will see you Sunday for the live watch along right here on the Undefeated channel. Sociedad hosting Barcelona. Visca Barca. I'll see you then, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.